Good afternoon, and welcome to Breakthrough Astrology Weekly Transits. And let's go get started. I apologize that my other teammates are not able to make it to the show this last couple of weeks. They've had some personal matters that they need to attend to. So I know that when the time is right, that they'll come on the show and join me for our weekly transits. So why don't we get started? Boy, I tell you what, these energies, um, really are just magnificent in how they're really changing our society and how they're changing how society is looking at things. And we're really going to be coming into such a brand new world and a brand new way of thinking after, of course, um, the beginning of 2021. I really think that there's going to be a time of healing. And I think that so many undercurrent things that have been going on for so long, I'm talking for generations and generations, are really now coming out to the light. And we're able to really see just maybe on some level how damaging this way of thinking has been, this way of living has been, and that we're all going to really come to a place where we're just tired of living in the old way. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work for anybody anymore. So I'm just really excited to see, though, how people are changing their life and and how they're going about or looking at things in such a new and different perspective. All of our spirituality and the way of thinking of self-love, respect, and really honoring who we are and really coming into a realization that we are God Himself, not like I am a God, but that we are the universe. This is who we are. Each and every individual, good or bad, whether they believe like you do, or if they don't believe like you, it does not matter. And this is such a new way of thinking that people quite haven't grasped what that looks like and exactly how to approach that and how are we supposed to live every day with this new type of thinking, with this new type of energy. So it's kind of like that toddler walking for the first time, right? They're just starting to walk and they're kind of wobbly and maybe a little bit nervous, but they do it anyways because they know it's going to bring them to a better place. And I really have to say, I really feel that's kind of how we are. And I'm going to do a special because I was listening to actually another astrologer who does tropical astrology, and this person was just so right on in regards to that how we're changing, the times are changing, that we're coming out of a Mars ruled time and going into more of a Venus ruled time, and this is going to be like a new world. And so that means that people are not going to be ruled by anger, not necessarily ruled by fear, survival mode. We're coming up a level as a whole in society. And I want to how does that look like? And I just really kind of want to throw out some ideas what may that look like. And maybe Michelle can join us at that time. So let's see here. I want to make sure I'm on the right one. Yes. So, of course, now we still have Saturn retrograde, but on the 29th, Saturn's going to go direct. And this is a really, really good thing. People are going to really see some things start moving forward as far as our service goes, what our duties, what we do out in the world, and even our government's going to have to start moving forward. However, what this really means, though, is that the government's going to try to move forward in the same fashion it always has. here's what's I really feel it's going to happen. Because Jupiter is also going direct, and we know that's in Purva Bhadapada, no, Ashada, excuse me. And we've got Saturn in Capricorn, and it's in Uttara um, Ashada. And this was, we had this huge theme about everything that's been corrupt, everything that's been going wrong in the government coming out into the open, that you know, the people are wanting justice. We're tired of the same corruption, the same lies over and over and over again. When is it time to break free? And we've got Mars in Ashwini, and this really, Ashwini is very self-focused, okay? And we have, and we're looking for something new, something that that is better for us, more healing for us. And people are going to get really angry. So we got that Mars going retrograde, and it's going to be going back into over the Gandanta point and going back into Pisces, into the Ravati Nakshatra. This is going to feel some anger. And really what's going to go on is the government, because they have always been allowed to sweep their dirt and their corruption under the rug, and we're always able to manipulate and lie to the people. And they knew that the people's steam would run out, and the issue that they were angry about 1 month ago is not going to be an issue, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. This has always been the way. And I am not taking sides. I'm talking all politics, all of government, all over the world. Okay. So they're going to, all of this corruption is coming out. People are seeing things finally for really what they are. And now I think they're going to try to sweep it under the rug and go on like business as usual. However, what they're not counting on is Mercury's really strong in the sign of Aries, in Ashwini. And what this means is that people are done. They're going to dig their heels in and say, no, you know what? You're not sweeping it under the rug this time. And it's going to break out wars all over. How catastrophic, I don't know. But I do know that when that many people are going to get angry and they're going to be self-motivated, they're going to act out of violence, because that's what Mars does. And if you're not completely self-aware in how that Mars in good dignity, or have really worked your Mars where it's more pointed inward, and how can you do it constructively, it comes out in violence. So we can feel that this change is happening, and we can feel, especially here in America, but I've also seen some things going on over in Australia. I also see some things going on even in India, you guys. This is all over the world. People are getting angry. So just be really careful. I really do believe that possibly that there's going to be some wars breaking out, because I think people are just done. Um, with all the corruption and all of the lies. We can't even listen to the news because they're lying. There's no truth. And then you got so many people with Jupiter, is, you know, Jupiter's in such a good spot in the sign of Sagittarius. However, you got to also be careful, because it doesn't mean, just because Jupiter's doing really, really well, it doesn't mean that that energy is going to fuel nothing but good. It could be something that, like KKK or other groups, you know, the Illuminati and other type of beliefs, any type of religious belief, you know, Christians, Judaism, you know, Hinduism, all of it, they're going to take a rise, and they're going to take a stand and say, no, we, you know, you guys need to believe how we believe, right? So we need to be careful with that also and see where people are coming from. Who are we listening to, and is it really actually the truth? So before you get on the bandwagon, really double check. Are you sure you're right? Are you just so set on, I have to be right? There is no other way, that you would actually cause harm to another human being, or violate another human being's boundaries. So let's just watch, see, how we're believing it, and if this is true, um, really true. Are we really wrapped around the truth? So now, going into Rahu and Ketu now, and now they're at 29 degrees of Taurus and 29 degrees of Scorpio. And Rahu now is really going to be wanting some pleasure for himself. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to find it in the right way. And with Mars being in Ashwini and retrograding at the Gandanta point, Rahu being in the sign of Mrigashira on the Taurus side, money, banking, and it's in a ruled type of ruled nakshatra, or associated. Mars is associated with Mrigashira, excuse me. We can actually be looking at that with our money in our banking systems, with wires. So you guys really be careful with your money and who you're talking to online, because that certainly can be a trigger for some things to happen that we may not want to happen. Now, K2 being in Scorpio, this is the Jayastha Nakshatra. And K2 though, whenever it comes into any house, any nakshatra, K2 really is a past life kind of karmic type of energy, and it has a tendency to restrict, not expand. Now, we can say this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, depending on your outlook, of course, and where, what dasha period that you're in, and where it sits into your own natal chart. But however, Scorpio is all about dealing with our fears, jealousy, anxiety, stress, revenge. Also, Jaya is all about the elder one, and that means a tremendous amount of responsibility. So, maybe K2 ends up, as again, depending on your chart, though, gives you a little bit of a lighter load, but with that lighter load, because it kind of restricts, that maybe it will bring about past karmic events and feelings of jealousy, hatred, anxiety, and stress that you're supposed to work on, so that you can advance or become more spiritual, or heal, if you will, heal from those things from the past, whether it's past life, or maybe when you were a child. Okay, so, and always, of course, the flavor of it depends upon where Scorpio is in your chart. So, but this is something to really kind of look out for. Again, meditation. But if it is bringing up these feelings of being overwhelmed, or jealousy, or revenge, or stress. And, this could be somebody in your life giving this to you, or you giving it to them. This is a really great time to bring that up, let it come up, bring it to the surface, and work through it so you can be done with it. Just be done with it. Okay. However, or wherever it may land in your chart. So this is just a really good energy to be able to do that, or time in our life. So we already talked about Mars being retrograde, and again, um, Mars going retrograde also is a really good time to keep working and reworking on your plans, your goals, your business until it's refined. This is a good time to, like, you know what, I didn't like how this turned out, so I'm going to go back and approach it again. And then maybe you'll like it, the result of it the second time around after you revise it and revisit it. Okay. So Sun is going into Hasta, or is in Hasta. And you know, the Sun really, it's a Sophic planet. It's a cruel planet because it's going to show everything. It wants to purify, and it being in Virgo, it's going to purify that lower nature of ours, right? Because Virgo is all about getting in there and manifesting, and really being able to meet our lower nature needs, right? Food, service for other people, business, you know, anything that's just earthy and tangible. Our health, and it's in the sign of Hasta. So this really is about healing. And I have to say, with the sun being in the sign of Hasta, Hasta, the symbol of it is hands. This really is a healing nakshatra, and as well as business. And we can really, with especially with Mars being in Ashwini, you know, the Kumar twins are healers. I really, really believe, you guys, that we can come up with, and or be able to learn enough about our own bodies where we need to be in some type of healing practice. I have to tell you, with myself, I'm in pranic healing right now. What a perfect time for this to be. And so using those energies just in the right way. So I know that by the time Mars goes retrograde, and you know, all the planets are Mars, by the time Mars goes direct again and all the planets are moving forward and we're coming out of this time, that I'm really doing everything that I can. And I hope that you guys are too, that you're going to come out better, right? You're going to come out on top of the world. And this is really what we can use this time for. So Mercury is in Swati, Libra at 8 degrees, and you know, Swati's ruled by Rahu again. So really be careful on our speech and how we're communicating with people, making sure that we're communicating the truth, make sure that the communication that we're getting from people in emails and through the internet is true and correct. You guys, you know, this is all about using our best judgment. So I have to say 99% is not going to be good, that 1%. So really look out for that 1%. Rahu is about the internet, by the way, and Rahu is in Taurus and Mrigashira. So this is all about creating money through the internet, creating money through communications with the internet. So if you guys have a chart that's really set up, this could be a great time for you guys to really make a lot of money through the internet, either doing sales, doing shows, just what have you, just anything and everything. If your chart has promised you that, otherwise, let me see. Swati, you know, is about the star of independence. So I wouldn't be shocked that we find that this is very triggering people to wanting to be, you know, I want to go independent. I want to do my own thing. I want to be different. And just be really careful that you don't go down too many roads. I mean, Swati is a very airy nakshatra, so it can really agitate, and Mercury can be going in many, many different directions. So this is really about also trying to maintain a single goal and stay focused and don't go down rabbit holes, and or just spread, you know, nonsense, or just start talking just for the sake of talking. So, and spreading it all over the internet, because we already have so much of that, so many lies and useless information that goes out, very conceited and very egotistical type of messages. I've seen so many of that lately. It's incredible. So just be really careful who you're listening to, why you're listening to them, and what are their goals and what are your goals, and are they aligned? And is that person being truthful? So Rahu, that's he's deceitful, if you will. Venus is still in Auslasia right now, but however, Venus is going to be going into Maga on the 28th. And now remember that Maga is a Ketu ruled nakshatra, and that's in the sign of Leo. Now Mars is also in a Ketu ruled nakshatra, Ashwini. So there definitely going to be some interplay between Mars and Venus. And I tell you what, Mars is all about doing the right thing, right and wrong. This is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. Venus is like, I want pleasure. So there's going to be some interplay of how we feed into our happiness, what we want in our happiness. Are we going to go about the right way or the wrong way? But remember, and I said this on Friday, don't do anything that is against your guys' values, and do not accept anything that goes against your values. You know what's right and wrong for you. Don't let somebody else tell you what's right and wrong for you. And so Venus, though, she's going to want to get her happy on, and Venus does rule, sex, food, money, pleasure, vacation, anything to make me happy. So just really expect this to get flared up in your guys' life, because you're going to feel the energy. No matter where Venus is at or Leo is at in your chart, you're going to feel it in that area. So just get ready. Venus is going to want to be really, really happy. But again, just really look at, don't let anybody run over your boundaries. Don't go against your values, and vice versa. Okay. Job promotions, career strategies. This is a good time to seek favors from powerful persons like the government or other authority figures. So really, when Venus goes into Maga on the 28th, you guys start looking for this. This could be really, really beneficial and very positive for so many people. This makes me excited because I want you guys all to be abundantly blessed, because when we are doing well financially, we can really work on our own spirituality, or just relax and maybe come to a place of stillness and peace. But if we're not making it financially, if we are struggling and don't know how we're paying the bills, how we're going to get food, then it's really, really hard to come to a place where we can be really at peace and think in a positive way. So I want all of you guys to really use this energy on the 28th and look for that job promotion, and really think about it and do what you need to do to get it. Um, Definitely it's in favor right now. For you guys to do something really just awesome. And again, look for it and how it's going to manifest in your chart, depending on where Leo is at. So going on to the moon. So on the 26th today, the moon, of course, is in Capricorn. And Capricorn is a female energy. So it is a receptive, and the moon is total female energy. However, with Saturn being here, the moon is more soft. It's about unconditional love, like a love between a mother and a child. The mom just receives and accepts everything that the child gives her. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if the child does right or wrong, the mother is going to love that child. And that's not necessarily true in Capricorn. Capricorn is about service and what we're doing to serve people. And granted, it's a sign, it is a female sign, so it correlates and it does well on that level of being receptive of this is how we need to serve the people, whether they're good or bad, this is what's good for the people. But Saturn really is about a lot of hard work and being out there and just doing that grueling labor day in and day out. And Uttarashada is about war and success and life, control things and master things and get things the way that you want them to be. And the moon wants to just sit back and just receive. And Uttarashada is just not that. Uttarashada is asking for action. This is, we need to be extroverted at this time to get things done. And so the sun just doesn't sit here very comfortably. So people will find themselves, instead of doing what they want to do, they're going to be finding themselves doing what they need to do. So, it kind of will rub on people just a little bit wrong. Or that feeling again of just agitation is like, oh my gosh, I'm just so tired of working. Will this ever end? That kind of thinking. And maybe even some people will also even go into a darker stage of thinking. It's like, I'm so tired and this seems to be never ending. And maybe even get into a little bit of a depression because, Saturn's a heavier, more primal, Tomastic type of energy. And that's not really where the moon is most comfortable at. So on the 27th, the moon will get a little bit better tomorrow, and it's in the nakshatra Shavana, and it's because it's ruled by and associated with the moon. So, and it's going to make a beautiful trine right up to Hasta, where the sun is at, by the way. So, and this is about being open minded, expansion, but it's also about actively listening. So that means that we need to close our thoughts down and actually listen to the person and not be biased. We need to stay completely unbiased, which means that we can't have any self-talk going on if we really want to listen to the truth and hear what that person is saying without our own thoughts getting in the way. This is about getting down to the truth behind the spoken words. And we all know that people a lot of times will speak one thing, but they mean another thing. This nakshatra is about, and especially with people with prominent planets in this nakshatra, it's all about starting out foolish, but redeeming yourself later in life. So we could run into things that could be crippling to us or past events that have crippled us that we're redeeming ourselves from at this time. Um, but we really do. We work with um, these special, what we call here in America, at least special needs, or people that in one way or a fashion crippled, whether maybe they don't hear well or maybe they have a limp on their leg. But so that's how it can physically manifest out. But this is all about, again, if we've done something foolish in our life and have crippled us in some way, and I'm not talking just physically, it just like, oh my, crippling our reputation, if you will. This is a really good time, you guys, to redeem yourself, to purify this, to heal it, because it's training the sun in Hasta again. And Hasta is about healing. It's the sixth house. What can we do to redeem ourselves from what we have crippled ourselves with in the past? This is such a beautiful energy to do this. 28th is Dhanishta. This is working and war, even for creating, doing something that is action oriented. And again, Dhanishta is also in Capricorn. Um, and I apologize. I think it's not all completely in Capricorn. There's a couple of padas that are in the sign of Aquarius, which is also Saturn ruled. But again, this is the moon is still feeling heavy here, just like it felt heavy on the 27th. It's feeling heavy today on the 26th. But this is, Donisha is all about creative intelligence, and it's all about defending and protecting. This is a nakshatra that is associated with Mars. Mars loves to have movement. He's very action oriented, and Mars is retrograde right now. So again, he's asking, and what a great placement to relook at what we're doing. Is it solid? Do we need to, to stand up for ourselves? Do we need to draw up boundaries? Do we need to relook at things? And the way that we're going, we may feel a little bit empty today, to be honest with you, or on the 28th. We can even maybe be a little bit selfish, but it's really all about us. What we really want to do with this energy is putting our plans and keeping it into action, even if it doesn't feel good. Just like if you feel a little bit empty, then you feel a little bit empty. Just receive it. It is what it is, and keep moving forward. Okay. It's not going to last forever. It's just a day. So now this is a very a wealth producing nakshatra. So it could trigger wealth and fame for some people, if their charts call for it. And I'll tell you, one of the famous people who had a prominent planet here is Marilyn Monroe. So, but there is a perfect example of what I was talking about. She was working towards what she wanted. She always had goals. She's always doing something. So, but at the same time that she was feeling empty inside, she was very lonely. Okay, so that's I guess a really, really good example of what I was talking about, what you may be feeling inside. And then also be careful of your actions. Again, Mars is retrograde. So be careful what you go for or how you go for it. Make sure that you're willing to pay the price, right? There's always a price when we go after a goal. We have to give up something to go for something, okay? Make sure the price is good. And you're willing to accept that price for whatever you're doing. So that's really important. Now on the 29th, the moon is going into Shadabisha. This is a very karmic also type of nakshatra. Rahu is associated with this nakshatra. So again, this is all about desires and really going after what we want. I mean, this is, Rahu's has an empty stomach, and he's the head of the snake, but with no stomach. So he's really hungry. So, but in this nakshatra though, this is all about sickness and health. And I really see a huge sign, especially with moon trining the sun in Hasta, okay, and the Mars being in Ketu, ruled nakshatra. I just see so much healing that for us who are looking for physical as well as emotional healing, if we really tap down and use these energies right, I think that we can come up or really do a lot of healing within ourselves. So I really, really encourage you guys to look at this nakshatra or these days, these next couple months, and use it for healing for yourself, because when you heal, you can manifest more in your life that you want. So this nakshatra is about nonprofits, sickness and health, physicians, and feeling empty. Intellectual, it's a very intellectual star, and it's wanting to find a cure for hard to heal or hard to heal diseases. This nakshatra is also known as the nakshatra of the doctors, like about 100 physicians, if you will. So, and again, it's all about though us always looking for something and never finding that peace. So you guys may have that feeling. Excuse me. My goodness. Let me see if I have some water here. So you guys may feel not at peace, like you just can't attain that goal that you want. And again, you guys, this is only for a day, but really just focus on your healing. But don't be surprised if you're going to be trying to reach for something that you're just not going to be able to attain for the day. And you're just feeling that frustration. Moon, Rahu and the moon can just get kind of crazy when they're together. So just watch out for people acting irrational on this day, and be careful that you're not acting irrational. Trying to go after that desire and just not being able to attain things. Sometimes people get angry and they get scared and maybe a little bit clingy at times. But they want, and not on a spiritual level either. They want manifestation. Just like maybe they can't eat enough chocolate cake. I don't know. Maybe they're, wanting this money so bad and they just cannot get it. It just doesn't seem to come for them. So maybe they're going to be willing to compromise on their values or do something they normally wouldn't do. I mean, this is kind of a, Rahu will do that. That illusion. They're thinking they really want this goal or this thing really, really bad. And then when they do attain it, and they compromise their own values, they're going to figure out, oh, but that didn't bring me any happiness. I feel still very unfulfilled. So it's just kind of that feeling. On the 30th, Purva Bhadapada, the moon is going to feel a little bit better here. Because Purva Bhadapada is all about surrendering our ego, and the moon doesn't really, I don't want to say egoless, but the moon is all about reception and receiving and the moon is all about, again, that love, that I love my children so much, it doesn't matter, right? The moon wants to feel at peace. And don't mistake the moon and Venus. Venus is happiness, okay? Sex, chocolate, money, refined things in life. The moon is more, I just want to be at peace. Just have everything calm. Not necessarily happiness, just, okay, this is all good. My children are all beautiful. My children are good. This is all good, right? So the moon's going to feel a little bit better here because Purva Bhadapada, oh my goodness, I might have messed up here. Okay, yeah, Purva Bhadapada does go into Pisces on the last two of the padas. So I didn't make a mistake. This is good. So in Pisces is Sattvic, just like the moon is Sattvic. So the moon feels good in Pisces because it's higher minded, it's looking out globally and for the whole world. And it's going to feel more higher minded and at peace. And it's in a water sign, so it feels full, it feels good, content, and again, peace. So everybody, might feel or will feel a little bit better about things on the 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd, while the moon is in a sign of Pisces. So Purva Bhadapada, this is all about teaching ministers and counselors. So you guys will see a big theme on that today. Be careful that we don't eat too much, but this is all about we can get excessive into our emotions, especially after the moon is coming out of that Saturn ruled sign into the Jupiter, because Saturn can be very restrictive. So coming out from being restricted to that where the moon is going to feel like it's more into freedom, may get a little bit emotional. So just keep track or keep watch on your emotions for that day on the 30th. But again, this is all about the flow of our emotions, our deep consciousness, love, knowledge, peace, sacrifice, and balance. This is all very moon things. This is a Jupiter ruled nakshatra. And Jupiter is really, really doing really good in Sagittarius if you got your beliefs wrapped around the right truth, okay? But we've already covered that, so I digress at this point. On the first, it goes into Uttarabhadrapada. And again, this is all about healers and counselors. Our healers and counselors do come from this nakshatra too. And this is about total receptivity. And this is what Moon wants. The Moon loves that. So now just be careful, it is coming close to the Gandanta point. It is getting closer to Mars. So just be careful that we don't go into a darkness or a depression type of mode in this nakshatra. So just be careful. It can be triggering emotionally where we can go into a dark place. So just be really careful who we're listening to and who we're talking to. Because also this nakshatra, we can be listening to somebody who is not speaking the truth and really lead us into a wrong direction. So just be really, really careful. So make sure it's the right wisdom. And that it always aligns with our values and our truth. But 30th and the 1st really you're going to really be talking probably with some type of counselor, teacher, coach, or somebody of authority, and listening to them, and just make sure when you're listening to them that they really are speaking the truth that aligns with your values and your truth. Okay. And then last but not least, Ravati, on the 2nd, he's ruled by Ravati is associated with the planet of Mercury. Mercury, again, is in Swati. So again, I have to say, I expect some upheavals. There's going to be some upheavals. There's going to be things that I have said that are going to upset people. Now, even though the moon is doing really, really well in Pisces, and Ravati is in Pisces, but because that it's a Mercury ruled sign, nakshatra, excuse me, and Mercury is in Swati where Rahu is, we can really be deceived, you guys. I think there's going to be some things that come out on the 2nd that we don't like, and and that can be very deceiving and can really get people angry. And Mars is going to be crossing over and getting so close to Ravati, and in that Gandanta point, that it's going to flare up anger. And I tell you, when Mars does cross over that Gandanta point again, expect anger. People are going to, as I said, they've had enough of the lies and the deceit. And just like the government doesn't get it, or they just don't care. And they're going to continue to push their agendas. People are not going to take it this time. I tell you, the government will be the ones who start the wars. It won't be the people, because they disrespect us. They're walking over our boundaries, and they're devaluing us, right? And the government is here to serve us. We're not here to serve the government. So expect people to get very angry on these times, these dates. It's just all coming October and November, even December. We're going to have some anger coming up. So here, let's see here. Is there anything else I want to say for this week? No, I think that we're good. Just expect some upheavals with the government and our society, like I've kind of gone over with you guys. But really, these energies, you guys, if you use them in the right way, this is a perfect time for emotional healing and a perfect time for physical healing. And go to counselors, go to your doctor, or do pranic healing, do your meditation, whatever works in your life for you. This could be such a great time to find healing for you. So until I start my Wednesday series this coming Wednesday, and I'm going to take some questions from my group and answer them. And also, I'm going to just start focusing and talking about the planets and really how they work in our life and who they are. So everybody has a little bit stronger understanding of how the planets are functioning in their charts. So I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday. Have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.